This was a messy pay-per-view to say the least. I'm John Rickland with a retro review of WWE No Mercy 2000. But WWE could do no wrong. The ratings are high. WCW is sinking into the goddamn abyss. Not the former NWA TNA World Champion. But this show, yeah, this wasn't that great. Looking back on it, we're almost at the 20-year anniversary of the show tomorrow, and this just hasn't aged all that well. There was some good stuff. There were elements of a good show here. There were some ice-cold reactions to some of the matches, though, so let's jump right on into it. Intro has Austin vowing revenge on Rikishi, who did it for The Rock, who did it for those people, or you people. I think, no, it was the people. I know. I just want to make fun of that line, because it was a stupid motivation, and Rikishi's heel turn didn't fucking work at all. Dudley Boys Invitational Tables match. So, Too Cool and Lowdown start out. Chaz gets put through a table. Raven and Taz are in. Grandmaster breaks a table with his foot, trying to do a sunset flip powerbomb because the tables were made out of such flimsy material, if you breathed on them too hard, they would shatter. And then the Dudleys got in after Scotty got put through a table after, getting his worm caught under the table. I kid, he actually did a pretty impressive worm getting under the table. And then the Dudleys get in, Taz gets put through a table soon after. RTC members Goodfather and Bull Buchanan run in, and then we get a ref bump. He's down. Bull Buchanan through the table, but then suddenly, oh no, Goodfather makes it look like Bubba went through the table, and the referee calls for the bell, and then the referee says no. Another referee runs down. No, you idiot! What the hell are you doing? How dare you be knocked out and with a possible concussion? It's like, okay, referee, that I should believe, even though I don't remember who you are because I have a concussion. I'm going to start this match, and then 3D to Goodfather through the table. So there you go. Where is Stone Cold? Everybody's asking. He hasn't shown up yet, but he's got to face Rikishi in the street fight a little bit later on. Well, no holds barred, but it ends up in the street, so we're going to roll with it. And then Rikishi's outside waiting for him, and a lot of jean material that it took to make that outfit. Sweet fucking Christ. It's like an entire Levi's factory exploded on him. APA and Lita versus TNA, and Trish, Test and Albert as TNA, not Trish's TNA taking on Lita. Moving on. The tag teams attack each other backstage. Lita and Trish brawl briefly. Test and Albert run out as a 3-on-1 advantage, and then the Hardy Boys rescue Lita. There you go. The match never got started. Edge and Christian are being interviewed by Lillian Garcia, and Edge says to Lillian, hey, he grabs a bowl of nuts suddenly. Hey, Lillian, if you want to sample our nuts later on, we're going to be cheering on Los Conquistadores. Christian says, we've got big nuts. Our nuts rule all. Nut talk. We got two guys and one girl wanting to take the nuts. Or them wanting her to take the nuts. This was a bit uncomfortable, but it was also, I think, in good humor, because I don't think Edge and Christian meant anything by it. But goddamn, the Attitude Era, all the nut talk. Good lord. Jericho and X-Pac steel cage match. A match I wanted to care about, but this is a feud that wasn't really all that good. Now, it wasn't bad, don't get me wrong. And we had, Jericho winning after X-Pac landed groin first on the cage door. And Jericho escaped for the win. And the match wasn't bad. We got a chair shot to the head. I'm glad they don't do those anymore, but just, this really didn't do anything for me. I feel bad for X-Pac, though. He kept getting X-Pac sucks chance, and he really didn't suck. He always delivered on pay-per-view and on TV, so I never really understood that, but whatever, fans are weird. So Rikishi then yells at Foley about Austin not being here. Hey, you need to come out and raise my hand later. And then Eddie is injured, so it's Richards and Val Venis versus Billy and Chyna. The match was not good. Eddie interferes, hitting Chyna with a bunch of flowers. How would flowers put her down? There was a lead pipe in there. He just piped the flowers, and then Val pins Chyna 1, 2, 3. This is when they were building to Chyna and Ivory, having a feud that lasted a while. And though both were good workers, let's be honest, the way they did that feud is pretty goddamn shit. So then Stephanie gives Triple H a tape to help counter the crossface and says she's going to go help Kurt because she's his business associate. Despite the fact that Kurt used her to get to this position, she's still going to be this way. Stephanie was a goddamn idiot. So we get Rikishi versus Austin, no holds barred. Foley's out there. He's going to raise Rikishi's hand, but he keeps stalling because he knows Austin's going to be there. Austin shows up in a truck that has bashed out part of the windshield because Rikishi had done that, trying to run down Stone Cold again. And it was a brawl. It was just a goddamn brawl into the crowd, whipping Rikishi, tried to hang him from a rope. Chair to the head. Rikishi was bleeding a lot. He was really bleeding severely. Puts him in the bed of the truck eventually, gets outside, puts him up against a wall, and tries to run him down. But he hits a cop car. It just happens to be strolling along. It's like, I probably should look what I'm doing in this parking lot. But, hey, why is this Ford hitting me? And then Austin gets arrested, and Rikishi's still laying there, and then recast, and we get the cop being taken out on a stretcher. The crowd loved this. The crowd did not love that finish. Now, I know why they did it, because they wanted to extend the feud, and also they probably realized, holy shit, this heel turn with Rikishi isn't fucking working. But yeah, this wasn't the best way to end it, because oh boy, we had William Regal versus Midian, who had to be clothed for this instead of being naked Midian, with the fanny pack and the flesh tone underwear, because that's what we need to see. Good on Midian, by the way, for becoming a gourmet chef and, catering to parties and everything and making the best of his post-wrestling career. Good on him, seriously. It's a European Championship match, and the crowd was glacially cold for this. I mean, they eventually popped a little bit when Midian stripped down to his fanny pack and flesh tone thong, which is what we did not need to see, but good lord. But after he strips off, he kisses Regal. I don't really know why that needed to happen. I'm not sure why they made that part of Midian's offense. Was it just to confuse people? It just seems weird. It worked with exotic Adrian Street. Didn't work so much with Midian. But anyway, neckbreaker for 3 after Regal's like, I don't want to put the Regal stretch on a man that's practically naked. I'll hit him with the neckbreaker. And there we go. So we get an Angle interview with Rock with added clips together and everything. And it was supposed to be comedic. Didn't really work, but it was hyped up their match later. Los Conquistadores, Edge and Christian. Obviously, it's fucking obvious it's them. Versus the Hardys Tag Team Championship match. Now, Edge and Christian could not get a tag team title shot against the Hardys as long as the Hardys were champions, or they couldn't get a tag title run as long as the Hardys were champions. So this is the way to do it, where Los Conquistadores get the victory after a kill switch, the unpretty, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And so yeah, they win, but then they try to swerve us like it isn't actually Edge and Christian, even though it's fucking obvious it is, because it was comedic. It wasn't very good. I get the point, but it still wasn't very good. Didn't give the Hardys a very long run. Then we get more footage of the fallout from Austin's, actions earlier. Cop car getting taken away. And then we get Triple H versus Chris Benoit. All because Benoit headbutted Stephanie the month prior. Let's be honest, it's not the worst thing that Chris Benoit ended up doing to a woman that was involved in wrestling. And no, I'm not going to let that go, because you can separate wrestlers from, what they did. But my God, it's really hard to do that with Chris Benoit. It really fucking is. And just, ugh. The match was good. It's like you try to look at it just in a vacuum, just from a technical standpoint. These two worked really well together. There was some knee targeting by Triple H, and then some arm targeting by Benoit. It was what it was. Big superplex spot. Crossface, and then Benoit ripping and tearing with everything he's got. Line means a whole lot more now. Stephanie comes down. She slaps Benoit. Reversal of fortune, pedigree, into crossface attempt, and then low blow, pedigree for 3. There we go. And then we get Edge and Christian congratulating Los Conquistadores. Hey, we get a tag title shot against you the next night. And then we get Angle versus Rock WWE Championship match. And it's no DQ, announced right before the match starts. Don't know why, but we find out why. Yet, they do something really weird with it. I don't think anybody told Stephanie how a no DQ match works. It was good, but messy. Triple H was watching from the back with his shoulder bandaged up because Benoit just tried to rip and tear it. And then we go to the stage. Stephanie keeps trying to get The Rock upset at her. JR says Stephanie is asking for it. Oh dear. Not that JR meant anything by that, but just, boy, looking back on that, not the best worded line. So, we get a belt to the head while Stephanie has the referee distracted, a no DQ match. I don't think that anybody told Stephanie how a no DQ match works. Like, why did you do that? You didn't need to distract anybody. He could have, hit him in the head with, a goddamn tire iron, and it wouldn't have mattered. But anyway, it was what it was. Rock bottom to Stephanie, and then Triple H attacks Angle, and then pedigrees Rock, and then carries Stephanie to the back. Rikishi then shows up and attacks Angle, and then attacks Rock accidentally. Hits him in the corner, hits him with a super kick. Angle slam to Rikishi, and then Angle slam to Rock, and we get a new WWF champion. And then Rock is upset at Rikishi. Rikishi all bandaged up and bloody, by the way. So Austin's arrested, but Rikishi's okay despite almost being the victim of a vehicular homicide. Not their best show. It was cool that Angle won, and yes, he talked about it on the Broken Skull sessions. How he had the booger hanging in his nose. I'm not going to fault the guy because the guy was goddamn excited. And he deserved that win. It was messy, though. It was a weird way to do it, and then he would drop it back to The Rock 4 months later. Overall, not a bad show, but not a great show. Anyway, agree, disagree what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.